Let me just start recording. Okay. We're good to go.
So everybody here should be somebody that I'm teaching, right?
Yeah.
John V. Proctor, Mayank. Hello, Mayank. Hello, Proctor. Hello, John V. You guys were here last time. Hello to Neil and Satvik. Nice to see you guys. You guys should probably not stay muted, all of you that are muted, because we have a lot of speaking and participation that we're going to do today. I have a lot of energy. I'm drinking coconut water. Okay. Let me turn on my screen. Yes. See, I look so narcissistic. I have myself on the screen, and then it's more of myself. Okay. So, everybody that was here last class, y'all three that was here last class, you guys recognize this slide. But let's go with a quick recap. We'll start back on inferences, and then we'll move on from there. Does anybody who wasn't here last class know what an inference is? So Neil or Satvik, do you guys know what an inference is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Just define it.
So like inference is like basically like having something like from the text, and plus like what you know about the text, about the text,
Mhm.
and then you can and if you combine that, it's an inference.
Yeah. So you use what you have in the text to try to get information that isn't directly said in the text. Like, for instance, if I said I was chopping up carrots for my stew, you can infer where I am and what's in my hand, right? I have a knife and I'm in the kitchen. See, I didn't say it, but it's implied due to you having surrounding information and your prior knowledge that you know how things sort of go out. So a lot of the times as you get to more complicated text, like as you go from the sort of transition between like children's literature and sort of adult literature, I don't like to say that certain things are for children or adults, everything is for everybody. But you know, kids, like books that are generally targeted towards younger kids, they say like, you know, Elmo felt sad, right? They directly tell you that this person felt or thought a certain way. But, you know, as you get like to The Old Man in the Sea, it's the last novel that I read. It's a good book. You have to sort of figure out what Santiago is feeling throughout the book. You can't just they don't just lay it out for you. So this is what inferences are used for, and they train this skill a lot with regards to SAT. They drill this into you. So we did this activity. We did this too. This is so we have an inference. They're giving us an inference, and then we have a sort of piece of text that you know, like we will make a decision. We'll see if the inference that they're making is true or false. Jordan grabbed his baseball glove and headed for the ballpark, excited that the championship game was finally here. Then Jordan remembered something that gave him a sinking feeling in his stomach. He had left the door to his uncle's tool shed unlocked, and his aunt and uncle were out of town. If he went to lock the shed now, he would miss the first inning of the game. On the other hand, his uncle had a lot of expensive tools in his shed. With a sigh, Jordan turned around and began to jog back to his house. Sorry about that, guys. My phone keeps slipping. So I'm going to call on one of you, and you guys are going to tell me whether you think that the inference that Jordan is a very responsible person is true or false. John V, why don't you go ahead and start us off for today? Do you think that Jordan is a very responsible person?
Yeah.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I said yes.
Why do you think that Jordan is a very responsible person?
Because he was heading for his baseball game, and he remembered that he left his uncle's door open, so he went back and locked it.
That's actually interesting because I was going to say that the answer is no, because if he was so responsible, he wouldn't have left it unlocked in the first place. But your logic actually like makes sense. A responsible person goes back and does what they have to do, even if it's difficult or inconvenient. I like that you use your logic. Even if the answer that they give is different, the skill of using the logic is what's important. So good job there. I think that they would say that no, he isn't a responsible person because of the fact that he didn't do the right thing initially. He didn't lock it at the beginning. But I like your logic. I like the fact that you gave me a reason. That's what I'm looking for, a reason. Okay, this next one, Mayank, you can get it. With an exasperated sigh, Ingrid searched one more time for her science report. She looked under the dinner plate with the petrified pieces of orange rind. She flipped through a stack of old magazines and a bundle of school newspapers. She even moved two piles of dirty sweat clothes and a shopping bag full of old DVDs. Why was it so hard to find things in her room? Inference. Ingrid's room is too small. Mayank, what do you think?
I think it's not, because if it was small, then she would have found her science report. But
Mhm.
but probably it's big, because if it was big, she would probably not find it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Good reasoning. If it isn't too small, because, if it was small, then she would have no difficulty finding things. And do you know why she can't find things in her room? There's a implied reason why it's difficult for her to find things in her room.
Because it's not organized.
Yes, there you go. So it being not organized is the reason that she can't find stuff. Also, are there any words in these paragraphs that you guys don't know yet? If you guys don't know, just ask me and I'm happy to explain. It's great to learn new words through reading
What
stuff.
does DVD stand for?
It stands for disk video drive, I'm pretty sure. Have you ever used a DVD?
No.
Wow. I mean, I'm a little bit older, so I'm used to like I like some of my things when I was a kid. I use DVDs. I have a CD DVD right here on my desk that I keep, but I don't really play it. Yeah, it's a disc video drive because the disc is what they use a laser to scan it, and that is how they read off the information. Very cool. Prakrit, this is gonna be your Okay, I guess you will get the first question on this giant paragraph. Sorry that we didn't have one for you. For centuries, Native Americans of the Great Plains relied on wild buffalo herds for their food, shelter, and tools. In 1865, more than 12 million buffalo lived on the Great Plains, but then more and more settlers moved west. By 1890, most of these animals were gone. There were only 750 buffalo left. Fortunately, the number of buffalo has grown since then. The animal that we call a buffalo is also called American bison. Today, there are about 80,000 of these big, shaggy animals in the United States. They live in parks and reserves. One herd of free ranging buffalo lives in Yellowstone National Park. Free ranging means that the animals are allowed to roam throughout the park. This is their natural way of life. Many people hope that this herd will continue to grow. Some cattle ranchers who live near Yellowstone do not like having the buffalo there. They worry that the buffalo could come onto their land and make their cattle sick. Because of this, the government has slaughtered more than 3,500 buffalo. But many people do not believe the buffalo can actually pass diseases to cattle. In 2003, a law was passed to make it harder for the government to kill buffalo. The buffalo once were the center of many Native Americans' way of life. They were the source of the most important things that these Native Americans needed to live. Protecting the buffalo is important. It preserves a part of our natural history. So, last class, we were doing stuff about summarizing. It doesn't have to be the same way, but can somebody tell me what the main idea of this passage is?
The main idea of the passage is that um uh Native Americans um uh relied on buffaloes, but a few years later, in 1890, there was only 750, because more Native Americans were there, and now they're trying to save buffaloes.
Okay, I like that you made the inference that more people would cause there to be less buffaloes because the people are the one hunting the buffaloes, but it was not Native Americans that ended up killing all of the buffalo. It was people who were settling westward. They would get on the train and just have rifles and just shoot at them. They wouldn't collect the meat. They wouldn't do anything. They would just kill them for sport. So this paragraph doesn't say like I don't blame you. It's they should have said that actually. That's really important information that it was a lot of colonialism and stuff that caused the extinction of the buffalo. But yes, you are right that the main idea was the buffalo was very important for Native Americans, and because of human colonialist Western settling ambitions, the buffalo died out. Right? So good job. That's a quick little summary. That's going to help you answer these questions. And Prakrit, the first question is for you. You can infer that buffalo live in parks and reserves so that A, they will not have to travel much. B, they have protection while their numbers grow. C, it is easier for people to see them. D, they do not hurt people who want to watch them. What do you think it is, Prakrit?
I think it's B.
Why do you
Because
think B?
like in the passage, it said that a long time ago, not in the Native American time, but like 2 years ago, people used to like kill buffalo,
Mhm.
kill buffaloes. So like there used to be like a lot of them, but then there were like a few thousand left, like
Yeah.
750. And then people put them in the park reserve,
Yes.
like the park, so that their numbers could grow. So and they had protection in the park too.
Yeah, good. That's the right read to make from the text. I say read in the sense of like making a decision. It's the right decision to make off of the text. Good job, Crockett. You can infer, Johnny, this one is for you. You can infer that millions of buffalo disappeared in the late 1800s because Native Americans hunted them. They caught a disease from cattle. C, herds of buffalo moved away. D, they were killed by settlers. Which one do you think it is?
Because in the paragraph I heard people killed them.
Mm-hmm. Which letter did you say? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
A.
D? Yes, that is the right answer. They do mention that right here, actually. Let me get my cursor over it. But then more and more settlers moved west, and then the buffalo were dead. Good job. Right answer. Mayank, this is an open-ended question, so it's a little more difficult, but I think you're up for the challenge. Why are there more buffalo now than there were in 1890?
Because in 1890, settlers were moving and killing them. But right now, there's no settlers, and they're protecting buffaloes.
Yes, yes. Good job. Perfect answer. Back to Prakrit. From the third paragraph of this passage, you can tell that A, many people thought the government was wrong to slaughter buffalo. B, ranchers valued the buffalo herd more than their own cattle. C, thousands of buffalo have been moved away from Yellowstone. Or D, the buffalo carry diseases that can be harmful to humans. And let me just show you that third paragraph one more time. Some cattle ranchers who live near Yellowstone do not like having the buffalo there. They worry that the buffalo could come on the land and make their cattle sick. So which one do you think it is, Crockett?
I think it's B because it said, can you go back to the passage? It said that the rangers were living near Yellowstone.
Yes.
They worried that the buffalo could come onto their land and make their cattle sick. But and but people did not believe that the buffalo could actually pass diseases to cattle. So that's why I think it was B.
So B says that ranchers value the buffalo more than they value their own cattle,
Okay.
which I think you might have read that in reverse. So you got to be careful when you read the question. But what do you think it is now? B is not the right answer, but I think you just read the answer choice wrong.
I think it was D.
D. Okay. Well, See, many people do not. They did talk about buffalo passing diseases, but they didn't talk about it with regards to humans at all. The right answer here would be A, because it said many people do not believe the buffalo can actually pass diseases to cattle. In 2003, a law was passed to make it harder for the government to kill buffalo. So right there, it's talking about how a lot of people thought that the basis for why they were slaughtered, like culling these buffalo, was kind of shaky, and a lot of people were like, no, we need to conserve these animals, and a lot of people stopped that. They passed a law to make it more difficult for the government to just kill buffalo.
What
This is
does
a little bit tricky.
slaughtered mean?
What, Mayank?
What does slaughtered mean?
Slaughtered is just a word for kill. It just means killed. We typically use slaughtered with regards to animals. Like the slaughtering of animals is like what we say when we're harvesting the meat from the creature. That's why there's the slaughterhouse, which is where like animals are killed. It's very morbid. It's a very morbid word. I use the word culled. That typically means the same thing. It's used with animals. You'll see with like really bad news events and stuff, they'll say like it was a slaughter or something like that. It just means a killing of a. It's a synonym for killing. Okay. Why would John V? I think this comes back to you. Yeah. Yes. Why would cattle ranchers living near Yellowstone National Park disagree with the last two sentences in the passage? Because it says protecting the buffalo is important. It preserves a part of our natural history. Why might they not feel like that's true? The cattle ranchers.
Um, didn't like protecting the buffalo.
Huh? Could you repeat that, please? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Just didn't like
Yes, the ranchers didn't like.
saving buffaloes, so they disagreed with
That's true. Why
this
why did the cattle ranchers not support the buffaloes?
because I think they didn't like the buffaloes because because
This right here was the reason that they were worried that their cows would get sick. You did have the right idea. You were able to make the right inference. It's just you didn't like it's hard to find sometimes the real source of why you should think that. We all have these inference skills built into our head, but supporting it with evidence is kind of the trick. Okay, new thing. Main idea, supporting idea, supporting idea, supporting idea. With the last one, I asked what the main idea of the speech was. Sorry, the paragraph was, and my aunt answered that it was about the history of the conservation and restoration efforts of the American bison. That's what matters. So the first sentence and last sentence are usually the topic or main sentences, and the main idea of the passage is very, very, very important because it's what like the purpose of reading the thing is like actually for you. It's why you want to read it is purely because of whatever idea the main idea is trying to get you. The main idea isn't just a tiny detail or an interesting fact. Often it's only in the end. The main idea will be repeated at the beginning and the end. It'll be part of the introduction and the conclusion. Okay. Um, I want you to go ahead and get the main idea of this one, and I will read it out to you. Living things are organisms with certain characteristics. They need water, food, and air to survive. They grow and change, and they move on their own. Living things reproduce or make more of themselves. For example, plants and animals are living things. Plants make their own food, but animals eat plants or other animals for food. What is the main idea of the passage? There are four characteristics of living things. Animals make their own food. All living things need sunlight. D, plants eat other plants. Which one do you think is the right answer? The main idea of the passage. What do you think the main idea of the passage is, Proctor?
I think it's because in the first sentence it says A, because in the first sentence it says living things are organic certain characteristics, and on the answer there are four characteristics of living things.
Yeah, that is true. It's good that you looked at the first sentence and then tried to get the main idea off of that. All right, this is back to my unc. Have you ever seen a giraffe at the zoo? Giraffes are the tallest animals in the world. The average height of a giraffe is 16 to 18 feet tall. This animal has a very long neck and legs. Giraffes eat the leaves from tall trees. Other animals cannot reach that high. Male giraffes are even taller than female giraffes. What is the main idea of the paragraph? Giraffes are extremely tall animals. Giraffes don't sleep very much. Giraffes are unique animals. Giraffes eat leaves. Which one do you think it is?
Giraffes are extremely tall animals
Why do you think that's the case?
because most of it is just saying mm, they are taller than animals. They're comparing. Like male animals are even taller than male giraffes are taller than female giraffes. Giraffes are taller than most animals. Basically, most of it is about extremely tall animals.
Yeah, no, you're correct. Good job. That they repeated things about height the entire time and always went back to that one. That is the main idea. Okay. We're gonna go here. John V, you're gonna do this one. Hurricanes are large storms. They begin over the ocean. They gather heat and energy from the water. Hurricanes move slowly to land as they grow stronger. Hurricanes are dangerous because of their size. They are also dangerous because of high winds and big waves. Hurricanes can bring flooding, power outages, and tornadoes. What is the main idea of the passage? What is the main idea of the passage? Hurricanes are summer storms. Hurricanes are one type of storms. Hurricanes are large, dangerous storms, or hurricanes are just like tornadoes and floods. Which one do you think it is, John V?
C,
Huh?
I think it's C
Yep. Why do you think it's C? That's the right answer. Why do you think it's that?
because in one part it says hurricanes are very dangerous and they might kill thousands of people, and
Yeah. Good job. You looked at the first sentence and then you looked at the supporting details and it all looped back to that. A plus. Good job. Mayank, you can get this one. No, we started with Proctor. Proctor, you get this one. One way to stay healthy is to exercise. Exercise helps you feel better, lose weight, and grow stronger. Taking a walk is a form of exercise. It helps you go outside and get fresh air. Playing a sport is another form of exercise. This is a fun way to be active. Taking classes at a gym is a way to be healthy and fit. There are many types of exercise you can do to improve your health. What is the main idea of the passage? Choose a fun way to exercise. There are many types of exercise. C, if you are not happy, exercise will fix it. D, there are many ways to make yourself feel better. So what is the main idea, Proctor? What are they trying to tell us?
I think the answer is B because it says that it shows all the ways that like few ways how uh like exercises. Like it says, walk is a form of exercise, so that's a type. And then it like helps you go outside and get fresh air. Playing a sport is another form of exercise. That's also another type of exercise. So that's what B.
Yeah, B is the right answer. I also really agree with this paragraph. I think that you guys should be outside playing every single day. I don't know what y'all play, tag, Foursquare. basketball. I play basketball. Whatever you do, go outside every single day, play. If your parents are making you come to this class for an hour a day, you can make them take you to a park or do something fun that's outside and exercising. That's very important. You guys should do that. Yes, what is the main idea? We've already done this. We're already good at it. Finding text evidence. So this is what I've already asked you guys to do. See, we're already ahead of the syllabus. Is I asked y'all when you told me the main idea. When you told me the main idea, I asked you why. Why do you think that this is the main idea? And you guys all had your answers from the text. So now you guys are just gonna have to point that out a little closer to finding the evidence of why you believe that and just pointing it out directly in the text. So you're trying to find a sentence that matches the question that they're asking you, and like a sentence that could answer, that has clues that would indicate where your answer should be. So you guys have done this already. There's nothing to be scared of. You've been doing it for a while now. Okay, we have three questions. We have 4 questions and 3 people. Last one we will all do as a group so that we can get that one together. Donuts are pastries shaped like rings that come in many flavors. They were first made by Dutch settlers in America, and they're called. Look, man, I'm not Dutch. Oil cake, which means oil cake. Today, there are many different kinds of glazed and filled donuts, such as Boston cream, maple bacon, or strawberry sprinkles. The hole in the middle of the donut helps it cook evenly. In some places, donuts are celebrated with special days like National Donut Day. Many people in the U.S. love donuts. In fact, some studies say that the average American eats 31 donuts a year. Another cool fact is that the world's largest donut was made in 2007 and weighed 1.7 tons. Donuts aren't just tasty, they have a rich history and some fun facts behind them. Okay, I will answer this first question. I just want to answer the first one as an example, but if one of y'all already have it, knock yourself out. Does someone already have the answer? Of who made the first donuts?
Dutch settlers made the first donuts.
And it's the second sentence right here that you're looking at? Yep. Okay. John, how many donuts does the average American eat each year? I can hear you, my onk. I'm not deaf. But yes, let other people answer questions too.
Yes.
No, you're good.
31.
Yes, it is 31.
But I already said it.
Yeah. Okay. Procrit, you can get number 4. John V, you get number 3. My onk, don't answer. John V, did the world's biggest donut weigh more than 2,000 pounds? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Who said that? Okay, good. And Procrit, are there holidays for donuts?
Yes.
And where in the text is it?
In some places, there like holidays, like National Donut Day.
Yes. Yeah, right there. So see how simple it is to use text evidence? You guys do it all the time. It is second nature. It is very truly second nature. Okay, we're gonna do this again. We're gonna do one more. Lizards are captivating creatures, which makes them interesting pets for many people. There are over 4,675 different species of lizards to discover. Because they're cold-blooded, they rely on things like heat lamps to keep them warm and cozy. Some lizards can drop their tails when faced with danger and then magically grow them back later on. In America, nearly 2 out of every 100 homes have a reptile pet, and many of them are lizards. Another fun fact to note is that lizards have eyelids and can blink, which sets them apart from their snake cousins. Lizards have many interesting traits that make them fun to learn about. Are there any words that you guys didn't know in this paragraph? Anything at all? Okay. Let's go. Mayank, you can kick us off again. Are there many different kinds of lizards in the world?
Yes.
How many?
There are 4,675.
And you have the line in the text to prove that. John V, what is a fun fact about lizards that makes them unique?
That their tails, like, they can drop, some lizards can drop their tails and it can magically go back later.
Yep. And you use the text, the text, not the ticks, to prove that. Are Prakrit, are lizards warm-blooded?
No, because in the paragraph it says they're cold-blooded.
Yes. Okay. Do many people in the United States own reptiles? I'm going to answer this one because this is actually kind of a bad question. It says 2 out of every 100 homes. I wouldn't qualify that as a lot of people. Like, so what, 2% of everybody in the US? It's not a lot of people. I don't think that's true, but it says many of them are lizards, so I can see how this is confusing. It's a bad question. Sebastian was upset. He had lost his new pencil. Sebastian had been looking for his pencil all day and he was unable to find it anywhere. He looked under the bed, in the hamper, on his desk, and even in the car. Did someone steal it? Sebastian explained his problem to his family and they just laughed at him. This made him feel even worse. His brother shouted, "You sure looked everywhere, huh?" as he ran up to Sebastian. His brother reached on the other side of Sebastian's head and made the pencil appear. Sebastian was shocked. He looked everywhere, but not behind his ear. Okay, same order. Let's go. Mayank, where did Sebastian look to find his pencil first?
He first looked under the bed.
Nice. And you looked right at the text for that. Two, this one, John V, it's a bit of an inference. Let me see if you can get it. Why did his family laugh at him?
Because he said like he couldn't find his brand new pencil, and he was sad that his family laughed at him, but he didn't know it was like in his ear.
Yeah, that's the comedy. Good job. The comedy is that, oh, he's being oblivious and he doesn't know where it is. How did Sebastian's brother make the pencil appear? Mayank.
He found anybody, if something's behind your ear, anybody can see it but you. So Sebastian's brother saw the pencil and gave it to him.
Very sharp. That is all correct. So, see how easy this was finding text evidence. None of you guys struggled with it. Very easy. Every author writes for a reason. We're doing author's purpose. So, why did they write this thing? Why are they doing it? So, I don't know. You guys probably don't text very often, but I don't know if you do really. But when you write a text or an email or any paper, you have a reason for writing it, right? So either you're entertaining, you're just being funny, you're joking around with your friends, you're informing, you're telling somebody of events that have happened either in your life or in the surrounding context of where you live, or you're trying to persuade somebody. So, Crocker, give me an example of a persuasive sentence, like a persuasive sentence.
So like
Huh?
a persuasive sentence is like when trying to like make you do something or tell you something. Like if someone wants to like buy a car and
Yeah.
they wrote something, they would explain why you should buy the car, like what it is. So they're like trying to make you get the car, or they're trying to like make you follow like
like what they want. So
Yeah, so it's basically just trying to convince somebody else to do something that's beneficial for you, right? So persuading can be as simple as trying to get somebody advertising. Advertising is the simplest form of persuasion that you see every day. Inform, inform is like writing a textbook or the news, and entertain is write any storybook or anything like that, right? That's sort of the basics. So PI, this is a good acronym. It means something. You guys can remember it easily. So ask, how does the author want you to feel? What is the intention that you feel? And then look at the tone. Is it lighthearted and funny and they're making jokes? Or is it serious? And look for facts or opinions. If it's opinions, like stuff that isn't 100% objectively true, it's like saying that this is the best kind of car on the market is different to saying that this car has 95th percentile rates in safety. One is a fact. That's an information. Like you cannot change the fact that the car is 95th percentile in safety rating, but opinion that it's the best handling car on the market, that's conjecture. That's up to whoever is writing the article. So when it's an opinion, you can usually sort of put it down as persuasion. And if it's using a lot of facts, it's information. But sometimes people do use information people do use information to make their point. They use evidence. Okay. Proctor, actually I called on you already. I called on a lot of you really. Mayank, you can get this one. Halloween is the best holiday of the year. Everyone should go out and get a costume. If you can't find one to buy, make one. Halloween is better than other holidays because you get to trick or treat with friends. So, is the author persuading, informing, or entertaining here?
I think it's persuading.
Yep. Yeah, there are multiple reasons. I think you get why. Procrit, let's move on to you. Sarita was excited to get out of the car. She had been waiting today for weeks and it was finally here. She skipped as she went up to the walkway to the house and her mom opened the door. Suddenly everyone shouted surprise. So what does this? Is this persuasion, information, or just entertainment?
entertainment.
Huh?
I think it's entertainment.
Yeah, this is just a novel. You get the vibe pretty well. Have you ever seen the dancing show on TV? It is very entertaining. You should watch it because you will see new dance moves. You will like the music too. Sometimes I like to get up and dance while the show is on. The show is really good and you will enjoy it. John V, why do you think this is what it is? What do you think this is? You think it's what?
Entertainment.
Entertainment, you said? Why do you think this is entertainment?
Because if you watch something on TV, it's entertaining.
That's true, but what about this paragraph? Is this paragraph trying to entertain you?
Yeah.
You're on the right track. This paragraph is trying to encourage you to watch. It's saying that it is very entertaining. You should watch it because you will learn new dance moves. It's telling you reasons to watch the dancing show on TV. I know it's counterintuitive. It's honestly like kind of confusing because it says the word entertaining in there, but really the reason is because the reason is to convince people to watch the TV show. So it is persuasion and not entertainment. The United States has 5 branches of the military: Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and Marines are the 5 branches. Each branch serves an important role for the country. The country relies on the people who serve in order to protect freedom. There's actually a 6th now. We have a Space Force now, so this is a little outdated. But Mayank, what is the author's purpose in telling us this in the paragraph?
It's inform, and He's informing us because he's telling us about the Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and Marines.
Yep. You are spot on, buddy. That is perfect and completely correct. There's more purpose on point. This is okay. It goes to 37, and it is we have like 15 minutes left. So I'm going to. Yeah, we can come back to that if we need it. Compare / contrast and cause and effect. So compare and contrast. I want everybody to give me one thing that everyone to give me one thing that compares and contrasts and one thing that is a cause and effect. You guys know this by now. So okay, let's start. John V, I want you to compare and contrast an apple with a piece of pizza.
Pizza is more like tasty than an apple,
Okay.
and apple is more healthier than a pizza.
Okay, compare them. How are they alike?
Pizza is pretty cheesy, and apple is juicy.
Okay, they both have their qualities of having a certain flavor profile. It's unique to them. That's true. Okay, and give me a cause and effect, something that makes something else happen.
Not apples at the store. We eat pizzas at a restaurant.
A cause and effect. So a cause and effect is something that makes another thing happen. We did compare and contrast, and it's good that you're comparing and contrasting, but a cause and an effect.
Yeah.
Could you repeat what you said?
I don't understand what, like, something that. I need an example.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. That's my bad. I should have listed an example. So a cause and effect is the result of something that happens. So let's say that I am training for a marathon, right? The cause of me running well in the marathon will be my training, and the effect would be running well. So me having practice is going to cause this effect of me running well. And on a more simple scale, let's say the cause is the fact that it rained, and then the effect is that it's wet outside. So it's something super simple. It's whenever anything happens, what is the result? Everything is cause and effect. Like I press this button becomes the cause, and it moving to the next slide is the effect. And obviously, I put it back. That's the cause, and then the effect is so it's anything that causes something else, which is basically every action in human history is as an effect, is a cause and effect type of thing. So yeah, there's lots of examples.
Okay, so I think pizza's crusty and cheesy, and apples are rough and juicy.
Okay, that's true, but that's compare and contrast. Compare and contrast is when you see how things are similar and different. Cause and effect is showing a relationship between two things in time. So like one thing happens first and then another thing happens. So could you try to find like a way that maybe eating an apple causes something in the future?
Is like pizza crust is also hard.
Right. We'll come back to this. Proctor, come out with a compare and contrast over two different things and a cause and effect.
Do I do like a random?
Yeah, anything you want, anything you want.
Or like chair, a paper?
Okay, chair and paper.
So the way that chair, paper are different is that
Usually paper is more like bendy, and chairs are always, or usually like hard, 'cause you're supposed to sit on it. And a way that they're similar is because that both related to wood or like made out of wood. Like chairs or wooden chairs. Like usually chairs are like made out of wood or have some relation to wood. And paper is also related to wood.
Yeah.
Because and cause and effect is when you um sometimes you fold.
Huh?
Wait, can I think of cause and effect?
You want to think about the cause and effect?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back. We'll come back to you for the cause and effect. Mayank, compare and contrast two different things of your own choice and make a cause and effect.
A book and a picture.
Okay, how is a book and picture? How are a book and picture similar?
A book and picture are similar. You both have them in your daily life.
Okay, that's valid.
And a difference is a book you would use it to learn, but a tissue you would use it to clean your nose or anything. And the cause of a tissue is to, let's say I have snot on my face. If I put a tissue to clean it, then nobody will look at the snot on my face.
Right. Okay, that's a good compare and contrast between those two items. What about a cause and effect? Doesn't have to be between those two things, just anything at all.
The cause of a book is you sit down and you have a nice book and you're learning because books would help you learn, and you're learning by reading.
Yes. So you're saying that an effect of reading books could be that you get more knowledge.
Yeah.
Right. No, yeah, I agree with that. That is perfectly sensible. Right. So, Parker, do you have an example of a cause and effect?
So when you like leave, actually when you draw on a paper, the things that you draw, it can like help your creativity.
Yeah. So you're saying that drawing cause is the cause that positively impacts your creativity as an effect. Perfect. No notes there at all. That is perfect. Okay, this will be the last thing that we do. Let's get through these 4 questions. Let's finish strong. Okay, Emma and Zoe both went to Camp Greenwood for the summer, but they had very different ideas of what made the camp fun. Emma loved outdoor adventures. Her favorite activity was hiking on the trails through the woods. She liked the quiet rustling of the trees, the fresh air, and spotting animals like squirrels or deer. Emma didn't mind getting muddy, and she was always the first to volunteer for things like canoeing or setting up the tents. Zoe, on the other hand, preferred the creative activities. She spent most of her time in the art cabin where she painted colorful landscapes and made friendship bracelets. Zoe liked being indoors where it was cool and calm, while Emma looked forward to campfire night. Zoe counted down to talent show day, where she played the piano for her cabin mates. Even though they enjoyed different parts of camp, Emma and Zoe became good friends. They helped each other step out of their comfort zones. Emma tried painting one day, and Zoe even went on a short nature walk. They both agreed that camp was better with a friend. Okay, one, Mayank. Let's kick this off. Which sentence best shows a key difference between Emma and Zoe?
Zoe liked being indoors where it was cool and calm.
Yeah, correct. That's because Emma liked being outside and Zoe liked being indoors. That is a key difference. John B, how did Emma and Zoe's differences actually help them become better friends?
Tried indoors and outdoor stuff.
Yes. So which answer choice reflects that?
them compete more. Actually, no. They realized they had the same exact interests.
They didn't have the same interests. They still liked different things, but they tried other things. They tried new things.
To try new things.
Yes, that's the right answer. Because you notice how down here they talked about how they help each other step out of their comfort zones. That's a great example of that's the example of what goes on up here. They're trying. Emma tried the painting, and then Zoe tried the nature walk. They did different things. Proctor, in what ways are Emma and Zoe similar, even though they enjoy different camp activities?
Wait, can I go to the restroom really quick?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. So well, since he's gone, Johnvi, do you want to take a try at this one? In what ways are Emma and Zoe similar, even though they enjoy different camp activities?
But brother come back and can he try answering?
Okay, okay. Well, number four, I'll do number four. How does the author use comparison to help readers understand both girls more deeply? Give one example of how contrast makes the message clearer. This is actually a pretty tough question. So he uses comparison. Well, author could be anybody. The author uses comparison by by showing like, see, Emma didn't mind getting muddy. She was always the first to volunteer, like for things like canoeing or setting up the tents. And then, like while Emma looked forward to campfire night, Zoe counted down talent show day. So they're looking towards two different things. That's a direct comparison that shows where their interests are. So that's an example of contrast. Contrast is when two things are next to each other, and by putting them next to each other, you see the differences more clearly. Like how there are certain colors that if you put them right next to each other, they both pop out like a lot. Like red and green. So I guess we just wait for Proctor to come back and do this last question. If there's anything else, yeah, it's just more practice, and I don't want to get started on a whole other paragraph before finishing this one. And next class we'll come and do this as we'll come and do these next ones like we did today as a warm up. So we'll just wait till 7:30 and see if Proctor shows up. Do you guys have any questions? Huh?
Brother's back from the restroom.
He's back? Hello, Proctor. Are you back?
Yeah.
All right. Number 3. In what ways are Emma and Zoe similar, even though they enjoy different camp activities? Support your answer with at least 2 details from the text.
I think that they were similar is because they both agreed that camp was better with a friend,
Mm-hmm.
and even they're like really different, they both became really good friends, which is like also a great
Yeah.
like a way of agreeing. So they um they both did like activities
Mm-hmm.
like that could help you in life.
Yeah, that's also true. That's a good observation. Yeah, that's solid. The one that I was looking for, the one piece of text you got it, was they both agreed that camp was better with friends. That's the point where it's saying they agreed. Like that is your similarity that they have. That is your comparison where they don't contrast that yes, they both agree that being in camp with friends is a superior way to enjoy camp. So we have 2 minutes. We probably can't start another full one. We'll do this. We'll do a one author's purpose real quick. You guys can work together. Whoever gets it gets it. We'll do this bottom right one. Fishing can be fun. The first thing you need to do is bait the hook. Different types of bait are used depending on what line you want to catch. Then you either cast a line or drop it into the water. The third step, which can be the most difficult, is to wait until you feel a tug on the line. Then you try to reel or pull in the line. If you do this all successfully, your reward will be waiting on the end of the line. So what is the purpose of this one? Is it to persuade, inform, or entertain? Does anybody have any clue?
Inform.
Yep. And how do you know it's information?
Because he's telling us what to do and how to do it, and if he's telling it, then he's probably informing us.
Yep, that's also true. The water cycle has no real beginning or end. Water in oceans, lakes, and plants changes into water vapor and seems to vanish from the earth. This is called evaporation. The water vapor cools into droplets, which then form clouds. This is called condensation. When the clouds become heavy with these droplets, they fall back to the earth as rain, snow, or sleet. Precipitation is the name for this part of the cycle, which then continues. Feel like this is pretty easy. Proctor, what do you think about this?
I think it's inform.
Yeah, it is information. The doctor told her that she would have to stay in the hospital for a few days until they determined what was causing her stomach pains. He said they ruled out a couple of ailments such as ulcer and appendicitis, since there were so many different things that could be causing her pain. He told her it would be best for her to stay so the doctors could watch her progress. John V, is this persuasion, information, or education?
Education?
Huh?
Education?
I don't know. I think this could be education. This is just relaying information. This might be like a story, but at the same time, I think you're right in the fact that this is just relaying information. This is between the two. It's like a book that's based on a true story sort of deal of where it's realistic, it could happen. So it could be either one. But you are right, they do say facts in here. I don't think you're wrong for calling it information. But good job, everybody. That was another class all done and finished. So nice job to everyone.